Namaste. Today I'm going to read Volume 1, Book 1, Vidyeshvara Samhita, Chapter 12, Narration of Shiva Temples in the Shiv Puran. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha Nidaveganam Kurivasa. Om Ekadantai Vinma Vakratunda. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sutta said, O wise sages, please listen to the narrative of holy centers with Shiva's temples, all of which accord salvation. Thereafter I shall tell you their traditions for the welfare of the people. The earth, 50 crores of yojanas in extent, abounding in mountains and forests, supports the people at the bidding of Shiva. The Lord has himself raised up these temples and holy centers in different places for the liberation of the residents of these localities. These temples, whether self-risen or not, in view of their being accepted as their frequent resort by the sages and devas, are intended for the redemption of the people. In these holy centers and temples, ablutions, charitable gifts, japas, etc. must be regularly performed, otherwise men are sure to be affected by ailments. Excuse me. Penury, dumbness, etc. If a man dies anywhere in the Bharatavarsa, he shall be reborn again as a man if he has resided in a holy center where there is a self-risen phallic emblem of Shiva. O Brahmins, committing sins in a holy center is of ineffable character. When a man stays in a holy center, he must not commit even the smallest sin. Somehow, men must strive to find a residence in a holy center, on the shores of the ocean, in the confluence of hundreds of rivers. There are many such holy centers and temples. The holy river Saraswati is said to have 60 mouths, or holy centers, on its banks. Hence, an intelligent man must stay on its banks. He shall attain Brahma's region gradually. The river Ganga, flowing from the Himalaya mountains, is very holy with its 100 mouths. There are many holy centers on its banks, such as Kashi, etc. Its banks are highly sacred in the month of Margasirsa, or when Brahaspati, Jupiter, is in the zodiac Capricornus. The river Sonabhadra of 10 mouths is holy and yields all cherished desires. By ablutions therein and observing fast, the devotee shall attain the region of the god Ganesha. The holy Narmada is a great river of 24 mouths. By a dip therein and residing on its banks, the devotee shall attain the region of Vishnu. The river Tamasa is of 12 mouths, and Reva has 10 mouths. Godavari is very holy, and it quells the sins of murdering a Brahmin or slaughtering a cow. It is said to have 21 mouths and accords Rudraloka. Krishnavini is a sacred river, destroying all sins. It is said to have 18 mouths and it accords Vishnuluka. Tungabhadra has 10 mouths and it accords Brahmaluka. The holy Suvarna Mukari is said to have 9 mouths. Those who fall from Brahmaluka are born there by residing on the banks of the auspicious rivers Saraswati, Pampa, Kanya, and Svetanadi. One shall attain Indraloka, the great river Kaveri, flowing from the mountain Saya, is a very holy and is said to have 27 mouths. It accords all cherished desires. Its banks are the bestowers of heaven and the regions of Brahma and Vishnu. The devotees of Shiva are the bestowers of Shivaloka and accord cherished desires. When the Jupiter and the Sun are in the zodiac of Mesa, the devotee shall take the holy bath in Nemasa and Bhadara. Worship, etc. thereafter accords Brahmaloka. When the Sun is in Karkataka or Simha, one shall take bath in the Sindhu Indus. On that occasion, the drinking of the sacred water of Kidara and ablution therein accords perfect knowledge. Shiva himself has mentioned before that the bath in the Godavari in the month of Simha, when Jupiter is also in the zodiac of Simha, accords Shiva's region. When Jupiter and the Sun are in the zodiac of Kanya, ablution shall be performed in the rivers Yamuna and Sona, the fruit of which is great enjoyment in the worlds of Dharma and Dantin, Ganesha. When the Sun and the Jupiter are in Tula, the devotee shall take bath in the Kaveri, the fruit whereof is the attainment of all cherished desires, as stated by Vishnu himself. The devotee who takes bath in the river Narmada in the month of Vriskika, when the Jupiter is in the zodiac of Vriskika, attains Vishnuluka. Brahma has stated that the bath in the Suvarna Mukari, when the Sun and the Jupiter are in the zodiac of Dhanus, accords Shivaloka. The devotee shall take bath in the Jhanavi, Ganges, in the month of Margasirsa, when Jupiter is in the zodiac of Capricornus. After enjoying pleasures in the regions of Brahma and Vishnu, he will gain perfect knowledge in the end. In the month of Magha, when the Sun is in the zodiac of Kumbha, Shraddha, offerings of Pinda and water, libations with gingerly seeds raise the crores of manes on both the sides, paternal and maternal, of the family. When the Sun and the Jupiter are in the zodiac of Meena, ablution shall be performed in Krishnavini. The ceremonial ablutions, taking in the different sacred waters in their respective months, accord the region of Indra. An intelligent man shall resort to Ganga or the Kaveri river. Certainly his sin will be quelled thereby. There are many holy centers yielding Rudraloka. The rivers Tamraparni and Vegavati accord Brahmaloka. They are holy centers on the banks bestowing heaven on the worshipper. In between these rivers there are meritorious holy centers. Intelligent men residing there will reap the respective fruits thereof. Only by good conduct, good predilections, and good concepts, as well as by being sympathetic, can the devotee derive the benefit, not otherwise. Meritorious actions performed in a holy center flourish in many ways. Sinful acts committed in a holy center, though slight, become manifold. If the sin committed in a holy center is only for livelihood, the merit will destroy that sin. Merit accords prosperity and quells physical, verbal, and mental sins. O Brahmins, the mental sin is adamantine in sticking to the sinner, and it continues for many kalpas. The mental sin can be wiped wiped off only by meditation and not otherwise. The verbal sin is wiped off by japas, and the physical sin by forcefully, and the physical sin is by forcefully causing the emaciation of the body. Sins committed by means of wealth can be wiped off by making charitable gifts and not otherwise, though crores of kalpas, aeons may elapse. In some places, the increasing sin destroys the merit. Both merit and demerit have three aspects: the seed stage, flourishing stage, and the enjoyment stage. If they are in the seed stage, they can be quelled by perfect knowledge. If they are in the flourishing stage, they can be quelled in the manner described before. If they are in the enjoyment stage, they get destroyed only by enjoying and experiencing their fruits and not otherwise, though one might have performed crores of virtuous deeds. If the seed of the flourishing seedlings are destroyed, what remains must be experienced and wiped off. If one regularly performs worship of gods, makes gifts to Brahmins, and performs sufficient penance, the enjoyment becomes bearable. Hence, those who wish for happiness must refrain from committing sins. Footnotes. Bharat 51. Bharata Varsa is one of the 9 divisions of the earth as separated off by certain mountain ranges, the other 8 divisions being Kuru, Hiranmaya, Ramyaka, Ilavrata, Hari, Ketumala, Bhadrasva, and Kinara. It is surrounded by oceans in the southwest and east and by the Himalaya in the north. Bharata, who gave his name to this country, was the descendant of Swayambhuva Manu. He was a king of Agnidhara's family. 52. The river Sona, also called Sone or Sona, rises in Gondwana in Madhya Pradesh on the tableland of Amarakantaka, 4 or 5 miles east of the source of Narmada River, and running first northerly and then easterly for 500 miles, falls into the Ganges above Pataliputra or Patna. It is called Mahagadi Nadi, since it forms the western boundary of Magadha. 53. It rises in the Vindhya mountain and falls into the Gulf of Kambe. It flows in a wide floodplain and is fairly deep. It forms a suitable boundary between the political units north and south of it. That is Narmada we're speaking about here. 54, which is Tamasa. It is identified with tons which issues from the Rakshapara mountain, appears in the Bundelkhand region and flows into the Ganges below Allahabad. 55. Reva and Narmada are the 2 small branches of one and the same river in the upper course, which are later united into one. 56. Which is Godavari. This river, known as Goda or Godavari, forms an important unit in the historical geography of South India. It drains a large area mainly composed of Deccan lavas and flows through a wide fertile valley towards the east. Its catchment area is bounded in the north by the Saya Mountain, the Nirmala and Satmala ranges, and the hills of Bastar and Orissa, known to the Puranas as Mahindra Parvata. 57. Krishna Vini. It rises from the Saya mountain. It is the united stream of Krishna and Vini. It flows into the Bay of Bengal. 58. Talking about here. Tungabhadra. It rises from the Saya mountain and joins the Krishna river. 59. That is Suvarna Mukari. It is one of the most sacred rivers of southern India. After issuing from the Mahindra mountain, it falls into the southern sea, passing through beautiful hills and valleys along with its tributary streams. 61. That is Pampa. It is a tributary of Tungabhadra River. 62. That is Kanya. Not identified. The country situated on the bank of this river is sacred to Shiva. 63. That is Svetanadi, not identified. 64, which is Kaveri. It is one of the most sacred rivers which takes its rise from the Saya mountain. It is said to have many tirthas, particularly Shiva Kshetras, on its bank. Naimissa, modern Nimsar, is a sacred region of Uttara Pradesha in the district of Sitapur on the bank of Gomati. Naimissa was sacred in the Kreta age as Puskara in the Treta, Kurukshetra in the Dwapara, the Ganges in the Kali age. Name of the hermitage of Nara and Narayana in the neighborhood of Gango Bheda, the source of the Ganges. The sacred river of ancient India takes its rise from the Himalayas, flows in the western Pakistan and falls into the Western Sea. This sacred river, 65, let me see what's that about. That's Indus. 66, that is Kidara. It refers to Kidara Ganga or Mandakini in Garhwal. Let me see, 67, Yamuna. The river rises in the Himalaya mountains among the Jamnotri peaks, flows for 860 miles on the plains before it joins the Ganges at Allahabad. 68. If I can find that. 69, 68. Tamraparni. It issues from the Malaya mountain called the Travancore Hills in the southern parts of the Western Ghats. 69. Vegavati. It is the modern Bhega or Bijari in the district of Madura. And here ends today's reading of the Shiv Puran. Om Prabhu Prananatam Vivam Veshwanatam Chalananatam Sandapajam Karanavritam Sansara Sumdrambakam Mechame Sukarna Pishtivaram. Tumya Mata Chipitatvam, Tumya Bandusha Trasakatvam, Tumya Vidya Dravinang Tumya Sarvam, Mamadeva Devam, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.